Hey guys, welcome to Toxic Tuesday. It's another Toxic Tuesday and we're so excited to have you guys here. Today's episode's going to be about why blocking him or her is actually self-care and how to heal like a boss, because that's important. Alright, so you still check his Instagram stories like you're conducting a FBI investigation, right? Girl, it's time to talk about the most underrated form of self-care, which is the block button. Now, stay with me because I'm about to show you why blocking isn't petty. It's therapy you don't have to pay for. I know, so exciting. Look, I've been the girl refreshing his profile. And spoiler alert, I was doing it at 2 a.m., wondering if that gym selfie was a subliminal message for me or what was going on there. But spoiler alert, again, it wasn't. Here's what I learned after dating enough emotional disasters to fill a Netflix series. Sometimes the best thing you can do for your own mental health is to make someone disappear from your digital world faster than your motivation to go to the gym. Trust me, we've all been there. I've spent way too many times stalking my ex, and it was just not a good place to be in, you know? Now, we're going to talk about the science of why you can't stop stalking. Sometimes it's just out of our control, right? Like, come on. Give a girl a break, right? First, let's talk about why your brain is basically a detective agency when it comes towards your ex, right? Every time you check his social media, your brain gets a little bit hit of dopamine. And then the same chemical that makes people addicted to slot machines, okay? It's the same chemical, except instead of losing money, you're losing sleep, my friends, and your sanity and the ability to enjoy your own life. And that's debilitating, you know? Sometimes it just completely takes over. One time, honestly, I have to be honest with you guys. One time, I spent over 3 hours analyzing this guy's Spotify activity because he was ignoring me. 3 hours, my friends, okay? I became a music forensic expert trying to decode if Someone Like You by Adele meant he missed me or he was just having a sad boy moment. Turns out he was just really into his feelings that week and had nothing to do with me. How embarrassing. It was just his feelings in general and how entitled I thought it was actually about me. Like, grow up. Let me know in the chat if that's ever happened to you before, because I know that I'm not the only crazy one. So why blocking is actually self-care? I'm going to tell you right now. Here's the thing that nobody tells you. Blocking someone isn't about being mean. It's about creating boundaries for your own peace of mind. Think of it like putting up a fence around your own emotional garden, right? You're not trying to hurt anyone. You're just trying to protect your roses from getting trampled on by someone who doesn't even know they're walking through your yard. That was a good one. I made that up. Story time, my friends. The great Instagram investigation of 2023. This is good. Let me tell you about Sarah, okay? And no, I'm not talking about you in the chat, Sarah. I'm talking about this girl I know, which is not her real name, Sarah, okay? But we're protecting her identity because she was also emotionally unhinged, and she did give us consent to share the story. Hopefully this helps you guys. Sarah, quote unquote, was dating this guy who would disappear for days and then pop back up and say, sorry, been busy. Okay, classic ghost behavior, right? But instead of blocking him, she became a social media detective. I think we've all done that. She knew his work schedule based on his LinkedIn activity. Psycho much. She knew what he had for lunch based on his Instagram stories. She even figured out what was his ex's birthday party because she recognized the restaurant wallpaper in the background of his friend's story. Wallpaper, people, wallpaper. She identified the wallpaper like she was working for CSI Dating Disasters. That's a bit much, Sarah. We still love you, but come back to Earth. The breaking point. She spent her entire Saturday creating a timeline of his social media to prove he wasn't actually busy. He was just ignoring her. Side note, we have a video on ghosting. It's our second video that we posted. You can check that out if you're unsure if you're being ghosted or not. Anyways, when she realized that she had basically written this whole 5-paragraph essay on this man's online presence, she finally hit that block button and never got any of that time back. And what did she gain by that? Literally nothing. So we're going to go through the stages of blocking. By the way, thanks, Fake Sarah, for that story for us to be able to share. Okay, stages of blocking. It's like grief, but digital. Stage 1. I'm just going to mute him. I don't need to block him completely. Girl, muting him is like putting on a band-aid on a broken leg. You can still see the damage. You're just pretending it doesn't hurt. That's true. Stage 2, bargaining. Maybe I'll just block him on Instagram, but keep him on TikTok. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. No, this is like going on a diet but keeping ice cream in the freezer. We both know how this ends. That's true, my friends. Okay, stage 3, the actual block. This is where the magic happens. You hit that block button and suddenly feel like you're Marie Kondo'd your entire emotional life. Does this person spark joy? No? Blocked. Thank you. Come again. Stage 4. What if he tries to reach out and can't find me? Panic. Honey, if he wanted to reach out, he would have done it before you blocked him. Men are not shy about sliding into DMs when they actually want to. Stage 5, the peace. This is where you actually realize you haven't thought about him in 3 days, and you actually enjoyed your morning coffee without wondering what he's doing. That's amazing. How to heal like the main character you are. Redirect that detective energy and do something productive, my friend. Remember all that time you spent analyzing his behavior? Channel that energy into something useful. Learn a new skill, a new hobby, or better yet, analyze where you were attracted to someone who made you feel like you needed to be a private investigator. Unpaid, as a matter of fact. Create a new associations. This is good. You know that song that reminds you of him? Play it until it just becomes a song again. That restaurant where you guys had your first date? Go there with friends and make new memories. Reclaim your spaces and your music in your favorite coffee shop. Should have nothing to do with him. Move on, girl. Number 3, the 24-hour block. Ooh. Before you unblock him in a moment of weakness, we've all been there. Give yourself 24 hours. Write down exactly why you blocked him in the first place. Read it and then ask yourself, has anything changed? Spoiler alert, it definitely most likely hasn't. Okay, I have another story time again. Story time, the unblocked disaster. Okay, my friend Jessica, again, fake name for privacy, blocked her ex after he stood her up for the third time. Good for her, right? But then 2 weeks later, she was feeling lonely and convinced herself that maybe he had changed. Maybe he had good reason. Maybe Jessica was being too harsh. Jessica unblocked him at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. By 11:03 p.m., she was back to checking his stories. By 11:15 p.m., she had already seen that he was at the bar with friends, clearly not thinking about her. By midnight, she was crying into a pint of Ben & Jerry's and wondering why she did this to herself. Seriously, the lesson, my friends? The block button exists for a reason. Trust your past. Trust your past you. She knew what she was doing. He's blocked and he's going to stay blocked for a reason. Thank you. Come again. The art of moving forward. This is really good. Here's what they don't like to tell you about healing, okay? Healing is not linear. It's not pretty, and it definitely doesn't look like those Instagram quotes with sunset backgrounds, because I hate those. Real healing looks like choosing yourself even when it's boring. It looks like going to bed early instead of staying up wondering what he's doing. Who cares? Block him. It's like making plans with friends instead of keeping your schedule open just in case he texts, which is the worst. Signs you're actually healing and moving forward, my friends. Can you hear his name without your heart doing gymnastics? That's a good sign. Can you stop checking if he's viewed your stories? That's a good sign. Have you realized that you haven't thought about him in days? That's a really good sign. You realize that you're starting to get excited about meeting new people. That's a really good sign. And then you remember who you were before him and you actually like that person. That's also a good sign that you're moving forward. Congratulations. Now listen, please. Blocking someone doesn't mean that you're petty or dramatic or mean. It makes you smart, actually. It It helps you value your own peace of mind over the possibility of digital breadcrumbs of someone who already showed you that you don't deserve a seat at their table. So I'm proud of you for blocking them. Your mental health is not a democracy. You don't need anyone's permission to protect your peace. So hit that block button, babe, like it's a form of self-care, because it is. Please. Now remember, we're going to talk about another story about my friend who should have prepared better. She said she brought a friend along for self-support because she was afraid of seeing her ex at a wedding. So awkward. Have we all been there? And she thought that she blocked him, meaning that she was over him, but blocking was just the first step. Healing takes longer. Remember, we were talking about healing is not linear. Everybody heals differently. So she went to the wedding, and then she realized that she saw him having fun with other people, and she was having fun with other people too. So she barely even noticed that he was there, and she moved on. Great. Congratulations. I'm happy. Thank you for sharing that. But what are you going to do if he tries to come back? That's a good one. Has that ever happened to anybody before? Your ex came crawling back. Here's the thing about blocking someone. Okay, this is crazy. You ready? Sometimes when you block them, it makes them want you more. Something about being cut off triggers people in their ego. Suddenly that person who was too busy to text you back before and couldn't find two thumbs to work is suddenly finding creative ways to reach back out to you. The audacity, the nerve, the balls. He might message you from a different account. He might have a friend reach out on his behalf. He might show up places that he'll know that you're going to be. He might send you something through a mutual friend. He could create a fake emergency to get your attention. That's crazy. But here's how to handle those return attempts after they've been blocked. And do not unblock, my friends, okay? Don't respond immediately, even if he's saying everything you finally wanted to hear. Don't respond right away. Give yourself time to think clearly, okay? Think. Be calm. Remember, you blocked him for a reason. And then you're going to evaluate his actions, not his words. Is he actually making changes? Is he actually doing what he said he was going to do? Or is he just saying what you want to hear to get back in? Has he addressed the issues that led to the block that made you so upset to block him? Or is he just trying to weasel his way back in, right? Remember your why. Why did I block him? Go back to that list of reasonings on why you blocked him. Have any of those issues been resolved? Has he done any of the work to change? Or is he just missing the attention you gave him? Come on, seriously? Now, I have another story about my friend, Lisa, fake name for her privacy. My friend Lisa blocked her ex after he cheated on her, as she should, okay? Then, 3 months later, he had his friend call her saying he was in the hospital and he was asking for her. And my friend Lisa, being such a caring person, rushed to the hospital only to find him sitting in the waiting room with a minor cut on his hand. People. I know, you feel outraged. I was so embarrassed, she told me. He had manipulated my kindness to get around a clear boundary I had set. I realized that someone would actually fake an emergency to get my attention was actually exactly the reason why I needed to keep him blocked. I'm proud of you, Lisa, for coming to that realization. And then my friend finally left the hospital without speaking to him and blocked his friend too. Okay, good job all around. Okay, now we're going to talk about blocking someone when you share children or work together, because that's definitely a situation. Sometimes blocking them isn't completely possible, and you have to maintain some level of contact. We understand this. Co-parenting's hard. In these cases, you need to create what I call functional boundaries. Listen up, functional boundaries, okay? Keep communication strictly on business. Only discuss what you absolutely have to discuss. Don't engage in personal conversations about the past. Don't reminisce about the past. Nothing good's going to come out of it. There's no point. All you guys are going to do is fight. There's no point. It will accomplish nothing, okay? Now, you need to use written communication when possible. Text or email creates a record and prevents the emotional manipulation that can happen in phone calls or face-to-face conversations, because maybe you see their face and he's like, oh my god, he's so hot, and you just melt and give in, right? Now, you need to have a support system, okay? If you have to meet in person, bring a friend or a family member for support and accountability. That way you're not weak in the knees when you see him, okay? Make sure you set specific times for communication after you block them or you have a functional boundary, right? Do not be available 24/7. Set specific times where you'll check and respond to messages. Set clear boundaries, okay? Good job. Now, we're going to talk about after you've already started moving forward, right? And we know that healing is not linear, right? So now, after we started the process of moving forward, we're going to rediscover who you were before him or her, right? One of the most damaging things about toxic relationships, which we did a video on also, is they make you forget who you are and you lose yourself. You start losing your interests and changing your different opinions, and you're having your personality accommodate someone else's preferences and needs, and you're not even you anymore, you know? Blocking him isn't just, or her, isn't just removing him from your digital life. It's about reclaiming your authentic self, right? Exercise the before list. Make up things you loved before you met him. What kind of music did you listen to? What kind of hobbies did you have? What dreams did you put on hold? Start introducing these things back into your life, okay? I have another story time, my friends. My friend Emma realized she completely lost herself in her relationship. She had stopped painting and stopped hanging out with certain friends and even stopped wearing bright colors because her ex said she was too much. Yuck. After she blocked him, she felt really lost. She didn't even remember what she liked anymore. So she made a list of everything she used to love. Painting, hiking, vintage shopping, cooking, elaborate meals, wearing bold lipstick, all the good stuff. She started small. She started wearing some watercolors and a little bit of pink. And now she's wearing red lipstick again. And she's even going out to the grocery store with a cute skirt. I'm really proud of her. 6 months later, she finally had her first art show. That's amazing. A year later, she started a small business selling her art paintings that her ex said was crap. And she told me, I realized the person I was before him was actually pretty amazing. And I just needed to remember her. I'm so glad we broke up. Good job. Now, when you're in an abusive relationship and you finally leave and you blocked him, right? We want to talk about creating new goals and dreams. When you're in a relationship, especially a serious one, right? Your goals often become intertwined with your partners. You plan your future together. You make decisions what's best for both of you. Sometimes you sacrifice your own dreams for the relationship. After blocking him, you get to dream for yourself again. What kind of life do you want to have, right? That's a great question. What kind of life do you want to have? Do you know what you want your life to look like? You know, where do you want to live? What career do you want to pursue? What kind of person do you want to be? You know, now we're going to talk about the 5-year exercise. Write down where you want to be in 5 years. Don't think about it too much, right? You know what you want. Think about. It's not just a dream. It can be whatever you want. You need to have a goal. What would your ideal life look like if you could design it from scratch? Now work backwards. What do you need to do in the next year to move towards this vision? Right? What about in the next month? What about today? What can I do today to move forward? Building new relationships. One of the scariest parts of blocking someone and moving on is the fear you'll never love again. What if he was the one? What if you're too damaged now? What if you're too picky? Right? Here's the truth. If he was really the one, you wouldn't need to block him. The right person for you will make you feel like you need to become a detective to understand their feelings. They won't make you question your worth or sanity. Signs you're ready to date again. These are good signs. You can talk about your ex without getting emotional. You're not looking for someone to fix or complete you. You have clear sense of boundaries and deal breakers. You're genuinely excited about meeting new people, and you're not just trying to prove you're over your ex, right? You can be alone without feeling lonely. My friend Sophia, she was ready to date again. Fake name, obviously. After 3 months of blocking her ex, she went on a few dates, but she found herself comparing every guy to her ex. Either looking for him or looking for someone completely the opposite. And we call that the rebound revelation, okay? She realized she was still defining herself in relation to her ex. Even though she had blocked him, she took a break from dating and focused on therapy and self-discovery. A year later, she finally met someone at a book club. I wasn't looking for a relationship, she told me. I was just living my life and pursuing my interests. And he just happened to be there, and he was kind of cute. I realized I was attracted to him for who he was, and not how he compared to my ex. That was great. Thank you for sharing that. The importance of professional help. Sometimes blocking someone and trying to heal on your own isn't enough. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you're stuck in patterns and you have obsessive thinking about your ex, or you're struggling with depression and anxiety, you need to reach out for help. Despite your best efforts, it's probably best to seek professional help, okay? Therapy is not a sign of weakness, okay? It's a sign of strength. It means that you're committed to your healing and willing to do the work to get better. I agree. Types of therapy that can help, okay? Cognitive behavior therapy for changing thought patterns, dialectical behavior therapy for emotional regulation, EMDR for trauma processing, okay? And then attachment-based therapy for relationship patterns. Okay, I hope that helps. Now we're going to talk about creating your new normal. What is the new normal? The goal isn't to forget your ex ever existed. Okay? It's to get to a point where thinking about him or her doesn't disrupt your peace. You want to get to a place where you can see his name or her name and hear about them through mutual friends without it ruining your day, right? This takes time. Be patient with yourself. Healing isn't a race. There's no timeline you need to follow. Now, we're going to talk about signs that you're actually healing. You can hear their name without your heart doing gymnastics. You stop checking if they looked at your stories. Blah, 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 blah. You can see red flags now, right? That you couldn't before. You feel grateful for the experience of what it taught you and yourself. So now you can learn and move forward. That's great. Okay. I'm very, very proud of you guys for joining. Thank you so much if you're joining live. Thank you so much. If you are watching back later, please leave us a comment in the comments. Please leave us a comment. Let us know how you liked it. We do want to tell you really quick, the block button, you can use it as a boundary, okay? Blocking someone is showing you that you're mature. People don't have to agree with your decision, okay? It's important. Your future self will thank you. And I know you're scared that you'll regret it by blocking them. Maybe you have FOMO and you think you'll miss out on something and you'll end up alone. But your future self, the one who's healed and who's happy and who's in a relationship with someone who would never make her feel like she needs to block them, she's cheering you on right now, okay? She would never make you. She would never, never, never make you do something that you didn't think was right. You know in the bottom of your heart it's right to block them. She's proud of you for making the hard choice, for choosing yourself, for refusing to accept breadcrumbs when you deserve the whole meal. Now I want you to remember, you didn't block him or her because you hate them. You blocked them because you love yourself. And that, my friend, is the most beautiful plot twist of them all. This has been Date or Detonate, where we choose sanity over their maybe. Hit subscribe if you've ever been blocked by someone and you felt like you just won an Olympic medal for emotional intelligence. Drop a comment about your best blocking story. I'd love to hear it. We love a good plot twist where the main character finally chooses their self. Remember, you're not blocking them from your life. You're unblocking yourself from theirs. Now go live your life like the unbothered queen that you are. And if you're still on the fence about hitting that block button, let me leave you with this. The right person for you will never make you feel like you need to block them. They'll make you feel safe, secured, and valued, and they'll want to keep you close, not push you away. So block them, block him, block her. Block them for your mental health. Block them for your future. Block them because you deserve better. Block them because you're worth more than wondering if someone cares about you, okay? Block them because you're choosing yourself, and that's the most powerful thing that you can do. Love you guys. All right, we're going to put our little outro music because it's so cute. Let's see if I can find it.
Thanks for watching Detonate.